How are you doing today? My name is Venatix and welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about Remnant from the Ashes, a game that you may not have heard of. It's kind of just flying under the radar, not getting a whole lot of spotlight when it comes to marketing, but have no fear, I'm here to cover it for you. And today we're going to talk about some of the basics yet such essential things to know when starting to play this game. And perhaps maybe it'll give you some interest and you might want to get the game yourself. Funny enough, the game actually comes out in 3 days and it's available on Xbox, PlayStation 4, and Steam for PC. Now, jumping into what this video is all about is talking about the classes and character creation. Now, the first class we're going to start with is called the Scrapper. Scrapper has 3 traits to start out with, which is Vigor, Endurance, and Warrior. Vigor gives you increased health, Endurance gives you increased stamina, and Warrior is going to increase your melee damage. Now, the Scrapper has 3 starting weapons, and that is the Shotgun, the Repeating Pistol, and a Scrap Hammer. And it has one starting mod, which is called the Hotshot mod. A chance to set your enemies on fire and increase weapon damage for X amount of time. Now, the Scrapper, of course, just like any of the other classes, will specifically start with their loadout, but then eventually as the game goes on and you progress, you will be able to find all of those different types of weapons, all of the different type of traits and mods, no matter which class you start with.
Everything that the other archetypes have that you haven't chosen, you can find somewhere in the game, or you can just straight up purchase.
So just keep in mind that these starting classes are purely for the start. You'll be able to build and change your character however you want as time goes on. Moving on to the Ex-Cultist, we have Vigor, Endurance, and Spirit. So of course we got Vigor and Endurance again, but now we have Spirit, and Spirit is going to give you mod power generation increase. What does that mean? Basically, the more you use the gun, the more mod power increase you're going to get, which means you're going to be able to use your mods more frequently. Now the Ex-Cultist is going to be more of your mid to long range combat, but also has a mod called Mender's Aura, and that basically creates an aura in the circle, a pretty big area of effect circle that heals you and your teammates over time. So basically like the support, the healer in the group. The Ex-Cultist also starts with a Coachgun, a Repeater Pistol, and a Scrap Hatchet. So now you're starting to get the feeling of how this works, right? Each class is going to have 3 traits, each class has 3 weapons, and each class has 1 mod. Alright, moving on to the Hunter, we have Vigor, Endurance, and Shadow Walker, which is enemy awareness. It actually lowers the enemy awareness, so I'm assuming you could probably stealth missions. Now, I'm not saying you can actually stealth them all the way, but maybe you can creep up onto them or kind of lurk around the areas and get away with fighting less monsters over time. The Hunter starts with a hunting rifle, the Repeater Pistol, and Scrap Sword. Now, the hunting rifle excels at long range and doing tons of critical headshot damage or where weak spots are on the monsters. They also have Hunter's Mark, which I thought is a really cool mod, and it allows you and your teammates to see enemies through walls and increases your critical hit chance, and I believe the damage as well. Now again, remember that these classes are just purely for starting. You get to pick them right off the bat, and then from there you can upgrade them and change them as time goes on, and you're allowed to have up to 2 mods at any given time or moment. Now that we got those 3 starting classes out of the way, let's move into the character creation. Like, what do they have to offer? What can we do? What can we expect when it comes to characterizing and customizing our character? Well, we have a choice of body type, male or female. We have a few head options. We have hairstyle, facial hair, hair color, eye color, skin tone, some scars, and your voice. Yes, you will hear your voice in the game. It is not going to be a silent protagonist like a lot of other games. However, I don't remember hearing a whole lot of dialogue per se between the NPCs. More of like, I'm reloading, or take cover when you're playing multiplayer with like other fellow friends. They kind of like can banter and talk between each other. Think of like Left 4 Dead, for example, or like World War Z. They'll kind of like talk to each other, right? The NPCs and your characters. They have said that this is still a development build, so there could be some changes, whether they be minor or major, I don't know, to this character creation. But it is pretty basic, but hey, it's there. Which is better than a whole lot of other games that don't even introduce it, so at least you get to kind of customize it and get a feel for your character so that you know exactly who you're playing as. We know that the game comes out here on the 6th of August if you pre-order it. If you do not pre-order it, the game is released on August 20th. So I mean, if you're already got a plan some point buying the game, why not just pre-order and get to play the game, what, 3 to 4 days early? I mean, that sounds pretty great to me. Again, I'm going to be covering this game like crazy. If you know me, which you may or may not, I've covered World War Z, a smaller Left 4 Dead-esque type game that was all about zombies. I had over 100 videos on that. I plan to do as much as possible for Remnant game. Remnant from the Ashes, again, it's going to be super awesome. I can't wait to cover it and play it here. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe because we got a whole lot more coming in the pipeline. Anyways guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.